I have a few remarks I'd like to make, and then Vice President Carson has a few remarks as well. Tonight marks the conclusion of my service on the Douglas County Board of Education. On December 3rd, I'll preside over the swearing in of the new and returning board members and bid you farewell. It has been a great privilege to serve, particularly while my three children have attended schools in the district. I want to thank my colleagues on the board for entrusting me these last 4 years with the role of board president. As president, I've had the privilege to serve with Ryan Stewart, Cliff Stahl, Dan Gherkin, Justin Williams, Carrie Mendoza, Craig Richardson, Doug Benevento, Kevin Larson, and Megan Silverthorne. Together, we selected or supported our superintendent, Dr. Fagan, who has served alongside us as the leader of our school district. Tonight, I want to begin by thanking the principals and teachers of Douglas County. You have always been wonderful to my three children. Teachers are the backbone of this school district, and we have worked to support teachers, recognizing that the greatest determinant of educational achievement is the quality of the teacher in the classroom. I thank the thousands of volunteers who serve our school accountability committees, parent-teacher organizations, and tutoring and other important positions. I want to thank all the employees of the school district, from bus drivers to security personnel, from administrative assistants to maintenance staff. Some of you I have worked with more than others, and so it is for that reason that I single you out tonight for special thanks. I have to begin with Nona Eichelberg, our board secretary. Thank you for putting up with me for 4 years and making sure that the board's business moves ahead. Thank you. Dr. Christian Cutter, thank you for your dedication to elementary education and your work on the Choice Scholarship Program, a program near and dear to my heart. Dan McMenemy, thank you for your commitment to our high schools. You're the consummate professional, and you are well respected throughout our school district. Bill Moffitt, you've been here the entire 8 years that I've been here, and thank you for all of your work on facilities, energy efficiency, and most recently the school marshal program. Brian Caesar, heading up HR, thank you for your groundbreaking work on teacher compensation, pay for performance, and market pay. Pat McGraw, thank you for your work with charter schools and choice programming. I particularly enjoyed attending Hope Online Learning Academy graduations with you. And welcome to Tom McMillan. We haven't had the chance to work together, but welcome as the new Director of Student Parent Choice. And of course, Bonnie Betts, our CFO. Thank you for placing us increasingly in a strong financial position. When the next recession hits, folks will thank you when we don't have to lay off hundreds of teachers as we had to do previously. We now have a rainy day fund and are in a very strong financial position. Thank you to Cinnamon Watson and Randy Barber and Michelle Yee for your work in the communications department. And thank you also, Cinnamon, for your leadership as the interim director of the Douglas County Education Foundation. Thank you, Paula Teal and Margaret Huff, for your administrative support. Thank you, Tom Price and Chris of our security operation, and Officer Glenn from the Sheriff's Department. Thank you to Brian Berner and Janet Van Zandt for the great IT support you've given me, particularly over the years, because I still don't know how to use this. And Laura Hallstrom, thank you for joining us and welcome in your new job in the IT realm. I want to especially thank Sophie Pepin and Kiana Wynn for your service to this board on the student advisory group. And you have certainly ensured full representation from our finest high school, Thunder Ridge. to Dr. Cinna Morgan for your work to measure achievement and your work with the District Accountability Committee. Thank you, Dana Strother, Chief Academic Officer for Secondary Education, and Ted Knight, Chief Academic Officer for Elementary Education. Thank you for your commitment to ensuring a strong curriculum as we implement a world-class education. Thank you, Rob Ross, for your outstanding legal work. You're a model school district attorney. We've certainly placed a few minor items of legal work on your desk over the years. You jumped right into the middle of all we've been doing, and you flourished. I'm constantly amazed at how many different legal tasks you can juggle. And I know you have saved this district a lot of legal fees. To our superintendent, Dr. Elizabeth Fagan, it has been a great privilege to work with you. As I said recently at a Douglas County Educational Foundation luncheon, you are the Iron Lady of Douglas County. And that is exactly what we needed. The most important decision that any Board of Education makes is the selection of a superintendent, and we have not been disappointed. You and your team have led an amazing transformation of public education, and I know under your leadership the best is yet to come. And most importantly, I want to thank my family, my wife Eileen, my children Mackenzie, Ainsley, and Liam for allowing me to spend time and be a part of this amazing school district. The one disappointment of my 8 years of service on the board is that I did not coincide with the graduation of any of my 3 children. And I did not get to hand them their diploma. Now, I do have a favorite request. My oldest child will graduate, my oldest child, Mackenzie, will graduate, along with Sophie and Kiana, this spring from Thunder Ridge High School. So I do have one request of the board, and that is I may have the privilege of handing her her diploma at the graduation ceremony in May. Do I need to make a formal resolution? 8 years ago, I joined this board after an election in which 30,000 people voted, and I was unopposed. In fact, in that November of 2005, 8 years ago, there were 5 board seats decided, one more than the normal number due to a prior board vacancy. And of the four of the 5 board seats were uncontested that year. How times have changed. This November, over 100,000 people voted for school board candidates. And I think you all know all 4 seats were vigorously contested. The recent election was intense. Both sides fought hard. I congratulate both the winners and the losers, along with their supporters. It is not easy to subject oneself to the harsh scrutiny of an election. As Teddy Roosevelt said, it is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood. But now the election is over, and it is time for all parties to work together for the benefit of students, teachers, and parents. To those who disagree with certain programs but wish to engage the board in this school district, you will find the hand of friendship extended. Folks will not always agree, but your voices will be heard. Earlier this evening, we recognized the 150th anniversary of the Gettysburg Address. As I reflect upon the aftermath of a hard-fought struggle here in Douglas County, which is actually a county named after Abraham Lincoln's great rival for the Senate and presidency, Stephen Douglas. I am reminded of the words of Abraham Lincoln, who taught us the importance of reconciliation and forgiveness. Near the end of the bloodiest war in American history, he closed his second inaugural address with these words: "With malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right as God gives us to see the right. Let us strive on to finish the work we are in, to bind up the nation's wounds, to care for him who has borne the battle and for his widow and his orphan, to do all which may achieve and cherish a just and lasting peace among ourselves and with all nations. Those words should be an inspiration for all of us. Today we are a school district that leads the nation in parental choice. Choice and freedom define who we are. We no longer divide ourselves between charter schools and neighborhood schools. Students are funded equally regardless of the educational choice. We've embraced choice in online learning, in homeschooling, and in the groundbreaking public-private educational partnership with Choice Scholarship Program. I believe in my heart that one day soon that program will blossom and become a model of education innovation. There's strong support in our community for private school partnerships and options. The program is structured in a manner that protects the district from financial loss, and the quality of schools that were approved for the program is very high, demonstrating that universal choice is not only a winner for students and parents, but also enhances the overall quality of educational program and programming that the district can offer. We also embrace choice beyond our borders through Hope Online Learning Academies, a charter school that we adopted that consists of 3,000 largely economically disadvantaged students in the Denver metro area that need a second chance. At a time when many in the education establishment of this state wanted to kill that program, Douglas County saved it. I always felt proud attending those graduations in Denver, seeing those kids receive a Douglas County high school diploma and hearing their life stories of hope and second chances. We now have the most comprehensive pay-for-performance and market pay system in the country. No compensation system is perfect, and this one will continue to improve. But no teacher has had their pay cut under this program, not one. And it is vastly preferable to the old tenure-based system in which all teachers made the same amount of money, regardless of the educational results achieved. When I joined this board 8 years ago, parents regularly complained about an antiquated tenure system that required that all layoffs be seniority-based. New and talented teachers were laid off during the last recession, merely because they were the most recent hires. Fortunately, those days are gone. We have given financial and operational control of our schools to principals and moved it away from central administration through site-based budgeting. As a result, we've been able to reduce bureaucracy and foster an environment in which neighborhood schools can innovate and operate in response to the desires of parents in those schools. And the good news is, as we come out of this recession, we will have increased funding that we can allocate to those schools, allowing them to further innovate. We've embraced youth organizations such as the Boy Scouts of America and the Girl Scouts of America. Organizations that provide the traditional family and religious values that young people need as they grow up. And after recent school tragedies and the leadership of our superintendent and law enforcement throughout the country, we implemented a model school marshal program that I know improves the safety of our students. Special thanks to all of the folks in the law enforcement community of this county for making that possible. I'm very proud of all we've accomplished here together, and I'm proud of the engagement and support we have in the community. I want to thank all of you who have worked tirelessly to support the work of the superintendent and her team, as well as the board. We could not have done it without you. It would not have been possible to maintain the momentum with the scale of reform that has been undertaken if there was not strong support in this community. The truth is that there is wide belief that public education needs to shake loose the special interest groups that have shackled it for decades. If American democracy and capitalism are to shine brightly and continue as an example in the world, our students must be the best educated in the world. In my view, that means we need more choice, and yes, we need more competition. There is no reason that public education cannot benefit from market forces. The system should be accountable to the needs of students and parents. What I'm most proud of is that when we were given the opportunity to lead, we did not shrink from the task. Paraphrasing Robert Frost, two roads diverge in a wood, and we took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. We challenged the view that government must have a monopoly on the delivery of public education, and we replaced it with a philosophy that parents should be the primary decision makers in the education of their children. And we made it clear that although we know we are a very good school district, we're not interested in simply resting on laurels. I've worked in public policy for many years, and one of the things that's always annoyed me is that folks in leadership often want to put off the tough decisions in order to build their capital. I believe you should spend your capital when you lose it. As Shakespeare wrote in Julius Caesar, there is a tide in the affairs of men, which taken at the flood leads on to fortune. We must take the current when it serves, or lose our ventures. Great men and women serve as examples of leadership for the rest of us in our daily lives. As you all know, one of my heroes is Ronald Reagan. In my own special way, I feel like, much like he must have felt even with his presidency, very happy and very satisfied. In his farewell address, he spoke of the shining city upon a hill, which was the reference he used for America throughout his political career. As he said in his farewell, my friends, we did it. We weren't just marking time. We made a difference. We made the city stronger. We made the city cleaner. And we left her in good hands. All in all, not bad. Not bad at all. Thank you all, and Godspeed in the important work.